Hello, my friends, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're going to do kind of a news roundup, something or other. I don't have a name for it yet, but if it becomes a thing, we'll look at names for whatever in the world's going on here. I've got a couple news things that I just feel like I don't have a whole lot to say about, but I thought might be interesting for people to hear about. So here we go. Hoppo Games. Today we have an exciting update. Duncan and Paul, alongside many other talented members at Hoppo Games, will now be working on game development directly at Valve Software. We're incredibly grateful to Valve for their partnerships in the last decade and are excited to continue working on their awesome titles. However, this does mean that we are stopping production on our unannounced game, Snail. It's been an exciting and transformative 12 years. We feel lucky for the opportunities we've had and deeply appreciate both our team and fans that have supported us and our games. We love making games and will continue to do so for years to come, but we're excited to be working side by side with the talented people at Valve. But for now, sleep tight, Hoppo Games. So basically they're shuttering their studio and moving on to Valve. I have never played Risk of Rain or Deadbolt Game, which I guess is the other notable game they've developed. I've heard of Risk of Rain quite a bit, just never gotten around to playing it. But we will find out how that goes for them. It's not the same as acquiring the studio, it appears, because normally, if a publisher acquires a studio, the studio keeps its same name and just works under the same publisher. This seems more like they are being dissolved into Valve. Apparently, Valve is becoming the Blob and just, incorporating everything into it. I have no strong feelings about this, but if you do, please let me know your thoughts about what's going on here in the comments. I would love to hear it. In other news, famed Dragon's Dogma and Devil May Cry director Hideaki Itsuno leaves Capcom after 30 years. This is, just a really brief announcement. At the end of August 2024, he's leaving Capcom after 30 years and 3 months. He is the developer of Devil May Cry and Dragon's Dogma and Dragon's Dogma 2. He's apparently not retiring. As he says here, from September, I will start developing a new game in a new environment. I hope to create fun, beautiful games that are as memorable as, or even more memorable than, the ones I have created so far. Please stay tuned for my next creation. And honestly, for me, this sounds a lot like maybe he's trying to get away from the changes they're enacting in Capcom. I don't know how much truth there is to the information floating about Capcom's investment into DEI and so forth, but I could understand someone who wants to create games wanting to move away from something that might limit him. And honestly, it sounds like maybe Capcom's been limiting him. In other news that's been floating around, and unfortunate news really, Visions of Mana Studio is shutting down just after releasing their game. I mean, literally just after they released the game, and then they almost shut it down the next day, which seems crazy because from what I understand, the game was actually set to do all right. A lot of people had high praise, or at least good praise for it. But this article goes on to say that it looks like it's the fact that the Chinese companies Tencent and NetEase are scaling down their investment in Japanese game studios, which, considering how the Chinese feel about certain forms of initiatives, makes you wonder if maybe that might have something to do with it, knowing that that's becoming more of a thing in Japan. And in less surprising news, Rocksteady reportedly lays off staff following Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League flop. This is not a surprise to anybody. As poorly as Kill the Justice League has done, it was unfortunately a matter of time, or fortunately, depending on how you feel about the free market. Personally, I don't have a strong feel either way for these people. I hope they do find themselves good jobs going forward and learn from the mistakes that they've made here so that they can make something better going forward. It's been cut from 33 members to 15 after the poor sales of Suicide Squad, which, when you cost a large company $200 million, I can't say I'm surprised if you lose your job. I honestly anticipate seeing something similar about Firewalk Studios in the near future. And then in more news, something has just happened that has never happened before on Steam, and that is that more Steam users are currently using the simplified Chinese over English for the first time in the platform's history. Now, there's a really strong possibility this has a lot to do with Black Myth Wukong, as it was a Chinese-developed game based on a Chinese lore and is extremely popular in, of course, China. You have millions of people buying it there and playing it. While it is also popular in the West, there's no way the West would ever hold a candle to the popularity it has over there, especially when you consider the size of the population over there. Every gamer in the US could probably buy it, and the Chinese would still have us beat. I will say the scary thing about that is if, because of this sudden surge of popularity, Steam decides to start enforcing popular Chinese regulations across the board, that could be a little scary for the rest of us, and actually really unfortunate. However, as a person who is not a huge fan of consolidated platforms anyway, I would like it if we could decentralize a little bit. Steam is a little too centralized for my tastes, but we'll see what happens going forward. All that said, that is the news I have for you. I just want to put in the weekly reminder that if you are interested in supporting the channel, if you would consider becoming a member, that's $5 a month. If you're not interested in supporting the channel but would like to look at other ways to support, there's also a throne wish list down below. Mostly stuff for my pets and stuff to help upgrade my setup. I do want to thank those who are members. That is DX Machina NZ, Emperor Doomsday, Zan Zoltan, Snake Oil Sean, Schmidit, and Elmogu. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for your support, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notifications. If you really liked it, you can feel free to share it around, and I will catch you later.